Twitter is a garbage platform primarily used by garbage people, and that includes myself. Okay, I'm kidding. It's not entirely full of garbage people, but there are a lot of bots, spam, activists, and just garbled nonsense as desperate and pathetic people try to gain some kind of notoriety. The platform needs help. Now, with Elon Musk's vision, we may see more of the stupid people saying stupid things, but I accept that because the current iteration is mostly just activist spam bots, as far as I can tell. Even on the left, when you respond to them like, you're a bot, I don't care. All right, well, I'm verified, so I'm not a bot. But I would like to see other people be verified as well, and that's part of Elon Musk's plan. That if you are signed up for Twitter Blue, we'll verify you, and then we'll start dealing with the bots and the spam. I think people who want to remain anonymous should be allowed to remain anonymous, but I think if Elon can clean up the bots, we're in for a better time. We need people like Alex Jones back. We do. You may not like the guy. He didn't do anything illegal. You may not like Donald Trump, the former president, but he did not do anything illegal. Okay, left, fine. In relation to Twitter, you want to argue about anything else and argue criminality, we'll have those arguments. But when it comes to Twitter, Donald Trump broke no laws. He should be back on the platform. As Elon Musk makes his move announcing a shell company, this is really interesting. We have this story from Business Insider. Elon Musk has created 3 holding companies in his attempt to buy Twitter. I don't know if those are directly related to his attempt to buy Twitter, but it's happening. And while Elon Musk is preparing this dramatic change for the better, along comes a spider. Barack Obama calls for more government oversight of social media. Perfect timing, good sir. The moment that the Democratic far left establishment, whatever you want to call it, begins to shudder as someone threatens their lies and their bias machine. Obama comes out and says, oh, we need to regulate. I'm Barack Obama, and we should regulate social media. Great. Perfect timing, good sir. Where were you 5 years ago? I mean, honestly, I'm sure many of the people on the left would be arguing about the same thing. Where were you in 2015 or 16 when y'all weren't paying attention to what was happening on the internet? You see, even then, good things were happening. I mean, the internet was effectively populist. Now, conservatives say it was conservative. I think it was populist. You take a look at Reddit dominated by the Donald. You take a look at Twitter with these prominent personalities gaining traction, challenging the establishment narrative. You see, they didn't know what they were dealing with. But it's funny because Barack Obama, it is his presidential victory. Part of the credit is goes to Facebook. I know some of the people who worked on this campaign, and they said this was back in 2008 or whatever. Facebook was not that prominent, but they were like, you can reach young people using this platform. And it worked. They liked it. They thought it would help them. And then Donald Trump won. After that, they went nuts and destroyed the fun of the internet. Elon Musk says he will bring it back. I agree. That would be a good thing. Well, and as I stated, along comes a spider. From timcast.com, former President Obama calls for more government oversight of social media. Obama said, the internet and social media are turbocharging some of humanity's worst impulses. Now, to clarify, Obama didn't come out directly and say, we need to censor conservatives, because that wouldn't work. That would create a backlash. What he said is that there's too much of the worst parts of human nature, and we should regulate this. Yeah. My friends, let me tell you how much I love the desperation here. When you take a look at finance and capital, what are they saying? Elon Musk is right. The platform is in shambles. Fix it. Bring that money back to the table. What are the institutional left Democrats saying? It's a lowball offer. It's not enough money. Twitter's worth so much more. No, it isn't. Twitter is a garbage platform full of trash. If Elon Musk can clean it up, he might actually make it worth some money, and I think he will. I'll put it this way. You want to talk about making money? How about the fact that they banned Alex Jones and then end up losing millions of users? Here's the best part. The logic is, yes, but Will Wheaton threatened to quit Twitter unless we banned Alex Jones. First of all, I don't know how many people actually like Will Wheaton. Even the left hates him. But this was the big narrative, that if Alex Jones was allowed to stay on the platform, the left would boycott. Nobody would want to be here. Not true. It's a lie. Will Wheaton still left the platform, even though they banned Alex Jones. He ain't coming back. Or I don't know, maybe he came back, whatever. I don't think anybody pays attention to that guy. The point is, there is no alternative Mastodon doesn't work. Okay, Mastodon was the left-wing alternative, and people don't use it. Gab's actually pretty great, but user base-wise, it is nothing compared to Twitter. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to either Mastodon or Gab. I think they've both done good things, but people want to be where people are. You fish where the fish are. That means Twitter. That means if you want to post something, the community is on Twitter, which means this is the space. Now, I do like other platforms. I like minds.com because it really isn't as nasty as so many other platforms. But let's read what our good friend Barack Obama had to say. On Thursday, while giving a speech about disinformation at Stanford University, Obama said that the internet and social media were turbocharging some of humanity's worst impulses. He said he understood not all of the negative impacts were from bad intentions, but rather the result of billions of people plugged into a constant stream of information every day. Quote, not all problems we're seeing now are an inevitable byproduct of this new technology. They're also the result of very specific choices made by the companies that have come to dominate the internet generally and social media platforms in particular. Now, Mr. President, I agree. I absolutely agree that choices are being made by these big platforms to make things worse. Why? Antifa posts death threats and Twitter does nothing about it. Okay, well, I can agree here. Maybe we should have more regulation in a certain sense. But Obama is not saying free speech. No, he's saying quite the opposite. He noted that most social media was designed to cause people to stay online longer and driven by technology such as AI that did not seek the best results for a person's well-being. I agree with that. The only issue, you can't solve for that problem. Look, let me talk to you guys about YouTube. YouTube in the early days, I was talking to, early-ish days, it's 2013, and I was talking to someone I know who was high up at YouTube because I know has a lot of people who work at Google. Well, I know a handful. I actually helped consult on some of the live streaming stuff, and they said they wanted to compete with Netflix. YouTube had, at the time, a lot of short videos and funny videos, and there was a viral element to it, and it wasn't as big. I mean, it was big. But really, it was like people were sharing the videos on other platforms. YouTube said, we want people on our platform. Here's what we noticed. People have started watching Netflix. It used to be that people would online video was YouTube. Netflix came out and YouTube was like, how do we compete with that? They tried going to Vice. You know, this is like the early days of Netflix starting up streaming because Vice was making longer documentary and they were getting millions of views. But as Netflix and other streaming services came out, people are like, I'd rather watch higher quality content. The Simpsons and Family Guy. Now, I'm not saying those are the best shows in the world, but a 20-minute show, we like The Simpsons, we like Family Guy, we'll watch it online, not on YouTube. So YouTube decided what we're going to do is we are going to prioritize through the algorithm content that is at least 10 minutes long and has a high retention rate. That way, we'll get more Game of Thrones. We'll get more Family Guy. What did they get instead? They ended up getting hyper-partisan politics, which they did not plan for. Now, of course, you might argue, I'm fine with that. It actually is good content. No, sure, for sure. Like, this channel is a result of that. People turn these videos on, they listen for the whole thing, and then they leave. And when it's in a playlist, they listen more. Video game content became particularly prominent right away. Watching someone play a video game for a half an hour worked, but that's not what YouTube wanted. They were like, PewDiePie's great, but he's not Game of Thrones. We wanted Game of Thrones. They ended up creating a wave of politics where people were willing to listen to conversations or vodcasts, video podcasts. The point is, YouTube thought they were going to get TV shows. They didn't get it. When Barack Obama says, we need to, these choices they made, we need to regulate for that. You don't get it, bro. You don't know where that path will lead you. YouTube specifically said, okay, crank up 10-minute videos, crank up high retention rate, because that's what we see with TV shows. We should see it here on YouTube now. And instead, they got politics and vodcasting. You saw a wave of political videos because they were working in the algorithm. If YouTube tomorrow decided that this kind of content didn't work, they'd get rid of it and it would be gone. But they're making money, so they'll take what they can get. In fact, I think YouTube particularly loves Timcast IRL. I really do mean it. I think it's because it is, while Timcast IRL, if you guys don't watch, this is our nightly live talk show, conversational show. It's a lot of similar subjects, but we have guests, and it's mostly a conversation instead of a monologue like I'm doing now. But I think YouTube really does love the show because it is civil, for the most part. We're not particularly offensive or anything. We just have opinions people don't like. That's fine. But it's as close as they've gotten to a consistent nightly show. So not only do we generate tons of money in super chats, we're the 15th most super chatted show in the world. For a live program, we're number one. And that's kind of crazy to me. I never thought I'd be here. But for YouTube, they're looking at it like we have a primetime news conversation show, and that's good. And they like that we try to be civil with what we do. That's really the big issue, is civility. If you are civil on YouTube, they typically leave you alone, but there has been some BS. Obama is pointing to Section 230, and he's saying it's protecting these companies from liability. And, in a democracy, we can rightly expect companies to subject the design of their products and services to some level of scrutiny. At minimum, they should have to share that information with researchers and regulators who are charged with keeping the rest of us safe. Here's my point. YouTube has already done exactly what Obama is saying. They want civility. They want things calmed down. And what has it begotten? Hardcore censorship, the banning of high-profile personalities. Obama is talking about, let's say this, Alex Jones insulting Oliver Darcy. That's what he's talking about. The problem is, as much as I don't like it, Alex Jones should be allowed to do it. And these companies are like, well, that's not why YouTube banned Jones, but that's why I believe it's why Twitter did. They're like, we don't want you going out and yelling at people and being this kind of nasty person. I can understand that. Watching people be evil, nasty, raucous, or whatever. I'm not saying that of Alex Jones. I'm saying he was being nasty. You're like, this is encouraging more of this behavior. You get video after video and post after post where people are just screaming at each other. How do you stop for that? It's not your position to take. These people at Twitter, they're like, we need healthy conversations. Yeah, I agree. But at what cost? How about, you know what they can do? With Crowder. Crowder makes jokes and he's condescending or disrespectful, and they ban him from the partner program. That was that big thing that happened when he was critical of that guy from Vox, but not of the left that does the same thing. You see, therein lies the problem. They only view the right or people who oppose their agenda. They're not actually fixing the problem Obama's pointing to, and if they engage more, it will just get worse. I want to show you what's going on with Twitter. Elon Musk has created 3 holding companies in his attempt to buy Twitter. I don't know if they're related. They say the companies are called X Holdings 1, 2, and 3. I love it. And 2 filings to the SEC state that all the companies have been established to acquire or merge with Twitter directly or indirectly. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The filings all refer to the plan as Project X. Elon. During the show the other day, someone was like, Tim, have Elon Musk on the show. And so I was like, I'm going to tweet at him right now. Hey, Elon, come on the show. It would be like super rad. I would absolutely love to talk with Elon Musk. He probably wouldn't be able to do anything like this because of what's going on with these stories. Maybe after he's done. But he's been on Joe Rogan. He's been on Babylon Bee's show. I'm a big fan, Elon, of what you are doing here. I'm curious about Project X. I would absolutely love to sit down with you and just talk about all of this stuff. And, Ian on the show, he's a big fan in freeing the code and talking about these licensing and free speech and all that stuff. I think it would be an amazing conversation. So Elon Musk is making these moves. But let's talk about the nefarious elements at play. Let's talk about this story. These are the Twitter board members fighting Elon Musk's takeover bid. So here we go. With Elon Musk angling to buy Twitter, the social media platform, board members are punching back. Who are these people? They own very small stakes in Twitter, yet they make up the board. Fending off Musk's $43 billion offer by creating more shares could dilute the value of shareholder stock. But Twitter's 10 board members own just a tiny portion, Musk noted in April 16th tweet. The Twitter board collectively owns almost no shares. Objectively, their economic interests are simply not aligned with shareholders. Fascinating. That same day, even Jack Dorsey, who is formerly leaving the board when his term expires at the company's annual shareholder meeting next month, tweeted the board of directors has consistently been the dysfunction of the company. I'll tell you what. How do we make this happen? Elon and Jack at the same time. Jack, you and I, round 2. I'd be really fascinated to hear you say whatever it is you can say and talk about so much more than just Twitter with Elon and Jack. That would be absolutely incredible. Look, there's many bigger shows for either of these juggernauts to appear on. To have the richest man on my show and the former CEO of Twitter and billionaire on my show would be just absolutely insane. But I'm going to put it out there and say, let's make that happen. I would love to have that conversation. So who are these board members fighting Musk's hostile bid? Twitter, which has come under fire for censorship. We get it. They go to mention a lot of these individuals. Brett Taylor, chairman of the board. Parag Agrawal, the CEO. 540,000 followers. The point is, the people who are controlling the company are not aligned with the shareholders, but I don't trust the shareholders are either. Let me throw it to our good friend, Kevin O'Leary. When I say good friend, I don't really mean that. It's such a joke. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary calls for Elon Musk to buy abysmal Twitter and clean house. Says censorship caused the social media platform to fall to the bottom of Dante's hell. Whoa! Kevin, my man, bold. He's right. Check it out. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary vehemently trashed Twitter and its leadership for the company's lackluster performance and slammed the social media platform as dwelling at a lower level of Dante's hell. Despite the merciless tongue lashing, O'Leary proclaimed he would join Elon Musk in purchasing Twitter because of the Tesla CEO's remarkable track record. You nailed it. Yes. O'Leary skewered Twitter during an appearance on CNBC's Squawk Box, where he declared the social media network has totally lagged all the other competitors and is the most miserable investment you could have put your dollars into in social media. Never grew anywhere near as fast as Google or Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok. Look how old TikTok is and how big it's gotten. Twitter just ain't it. How is it that Twitter could dominate the most important aspect of civilization and be unable to grow and monetize properly? It is because the people in charge are psychopath zealots who are more interested in promoting what is right today and healthy conversations instead of free speech in the public space. Twitter dominates one of the most important elements of the human experience. But because these psychotic zealots are in charge and they're like, oh, we want to get rid of Alex Jones because he said naughty words, you rip the core out. You rip the heart out of what truly makes life interesting. Alex Jones confronting Oliver Darcy and saying nasty things to him. I'm not a fan of that kind of behavior, but this is life. These things happen. Now, I don't like the WWE-ification, no offense, the WWE, of politics, but Twitter failed. Now, I don't know what the answers are, but I would defer to free speech over abject failure. If you want the company to succeed, there are ways to do it. What was happening now with Twitter is they're more interested in politics than making their company work. Why? I think for these people, they've gotten to a point where they have so much money, they're like, but what are we really fighting for? Yeah, look, we here at timcast.com, we are greatly successful. We have lots of money, nowhere near as much as these people. And these questions are, what is the mission? Certainly, I could go buy a Ferrari. I don't want a Ferrari. In the vlog today, we released, we built a new quarter pipe, a vert wall. And some people say, Tim's building just a skate mansion, wasting money. None of this, none of the spends we do are about just doing stupid things for the sake of spending money. Building out the skate stuff is because we want to have fun, family-friendly, culture-building content. You have to do the cool, fun things. Now, I'm not going to buy a Ferrari. To be honest, I bought a Challenger, however, and this was kind of an investment for a rad car. And my view of things is, when we do this stuff on the vlog, when we buy these things, the goal is how do we rival things like Casey Neistat? I look at his vlogs. He doesn't really do them anymore. And I'm like, this dude owned it. And then he told people to vote for Hillary Clinton. And that was a mistake. And I'm like, I don't want to have that messaging be overt, but we want people in our sphere of influence to wake up to reality, to be personally responsible for themselves and their families, still believe in community, and believe in liberty. And that means we have to be as entertaining as we can be. I don't drive the Challenger, okay? I have it because it's cool and it's fun, and we want people to see that and be like, dude, that's so cool. The meteorite sword, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. I want to be there. I want to be like that. We have to inspire people. Now, look, I don't buy stuff just to be like, there's things that I like. I buy things that I like, Magic the Gathering cards, video games. But really, everything we do is all about the mission. The Cast Castle vlog, we filmed this stuff because we wanted to make something that was fun and would inspire young people. And they would be pulled into our sphere of influence. We do Chicken City because chickens are hilarious. And I build this thing so that we can make a show, and it's working. We're making money off of it. We're going to be hiring more people. We have 2 nonprofits we're working on. It's about the mission. These rich people at Twitter, you know what? They feel the same way. And this is why I have focused so hard on everything we're doing. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not well off and not enjoying myself. Of course I am. But I enjoy myself. My Ferrari is the Timcast newsroom. My Ferrari is making cultural content to inspire people to join us and not them. When Twitter got big enough and they started making money, and barely, they said, okay, now that we're breaking even, let's go full hardcore politics. I don't like that. I want people to watch skate videos and be like, skateboarding is fun or rollerblading is fun and whatever. But I also want them to recognize how you get to that point through personal responsibility and liberty. What we hear now is lies and manipulation. So maybe this is the root of it. You know what? I want people to watch Casey Neistat style vlogs. We want to make it, which means we need to make videos like the $10,000 plane ticket and spend money investing in shows that people would enjoy. What I don't want to do is lie and manipulate people to get them to join our sphere of influence. Never going to happen. There are some people who said it was dumb that we're working on a commercial for Tucker Carlson about Chicken City. And I'm like, no, dude, listen. We're going to have... Tucker gets the biggest share of millennials out of primetime cable. We want these people to see the fun of freedom. Freedom is fun. What the left is doing is not fun. So we're going to take fun. When they retreat from fun and funny, we take that hill. When Hollywood began retreating from entertainment, the Daily Wire stormed in, and they're taking that hill. And you know what? I want fun. And that means all the crazy vlogs and all the crazy shenanigans, we're going to do that. And we're going to show you what it means for freedom to reign true. You will have fun. No one will stress you out. You can live your life. Who wants to be a part of these leftist shows like Ethan Klein? He loses his sponsors. That's the world you chose to live in, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you lost your sponsors. We're going to do the opposite of that. Kevin O'Leary is right about the financing. But the reality is they don't care about the money. They care about the mission. I understand, but their mission is evil. So you know what? With our success, we're going to record music. We're going to have the best stuff. Admittedly, not going to buy a Lambo or a Ferrari or anything, but I did get a Challenger, and I'm super excited for it. But we want people to be inspired and dream big. You know, our good friend Richie McGinnis, rad dude. And I literally mean good friend. Richie's awesome. He was so excited when he saw the Challenger, and I'm like, I want people to see that and be like, yes. How do we do what you do? And my response is freedom and hard work, personal responsibility. So we got to do. I drive a Honda Accord. That's what I'm so excited for this car. And it's just like, it's a Honda. But, you know, I don't know if people are going to see the Accord and be like, how do I be like you? How do I replicate this? I think they'll see the Challenger and they're going to be like, dude, I want to be that. I want to do that. And I want to be like, yes, personal responsibility, hard work, and freedom. How do we get that? So it's all part of building culture. We want to engage in the way that others do. Pop Culture Crisis, our show where we critique and comment on pop culture. We want to make culture. Tales from the Inverted World, Mystery Paranormal True Crime Season 2 coming out soon, and a book. We want to make Cast Castle. We want to make family-friendly content. Chicken City. I am laying it out so that we're putting pins in each of these areas, and then we're going to storm forward. Chicken City is extremely profitable at this point. So I'm super excited that we are getting to this point. There's a lot of news coming out. And so stick around. Thank you so much for being a part of this mission. I really do appreciate and respect everything. Look, I'm a capitalist to the point. And that means if I work 3 years all day, every day, and I did, and I only started taking days off at the beginning of 2021 is when I finally stopped working weekends. I was doing the Tim Pool Daily Show 7 days a week and Timcast IRL 5 days a week. And then I just got to that point where I was like, we need to build culture. I'm going to take these weekends to do fun, silly stuff and expand in other directions. Plus, I got to be honest, I needed time to go to the bank and things like that to help the business grow. But I'll be the first to say what I love about our sphere of influence is that when a person gets rich on the right through hard work, the right celebrates that. When a person on the left gets rich, they question, why did Hassan buy a mansion? And they were all yelling at him, and it's funny. The right criticize him because they're like, dude, you're a socialist buying a $5 million house. And he's like, Republicans think I shouldn't have a house. And it's like, no, Republicans think you should just have a modest house if you're going to purport to be a socialist. In fact, most Republicans will celebrate you buying a mansion. I think most people on the right were like, congratulations on all your success. Isn't it a bit hypocritical? And many on the left called it out. I don't want to live in that world where I have to pretend that like, it's just stupid. Nah, I got a nice car. And thanks for your support. Thanks for supporting the work we do and rewarding us for doing good work. But trust me when I say, I want more people to believe in freedom, and that's the mission. What's happening with Twitter is the example of what the left is doing in the other direction. Let's call it out. No to Obama. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.